successful too. So like those are some things. I'm a wonderful listener. And I think one of the hardest things about with me when I can't move forward, I'm assuming this happens to some other people, is if I don't feel heard, I kind of stay stuck for a long time. Because you know when you go and you're like go to your friend and okay, so I don't know how it goes with guys, but a girl, you'll call up your girlfriend and you're complaining and they're like all giving you all this advice. Like you just like, I don't want advice. I just want somebody to listen. Like kind of want somebody to like hear my side and tell me it was okay to kind of feel the way it felt.
Yes.
But so I get really frustrated and then you call another girlfriend and the same stuff and you're getting really frustrated and you never move on. Like you're cycling through the stupid story over and over again. And so what I like is that you give this space for them to be seen and heard for their situation. There's no judgment. There's no advice unless you're asking for it. We a lot of times come up with solutions together because it's in the context of their busy life. It's not like, let's make all these changes and clean out your whole life. You have family that you still want to be able to eat with, or you have all these like things that are in place that you don't want to change. Well, we're going to figure out how like that creative solution to how you can still have what you want and still have those parts of your life that you still want.
That's awesome. You know what you're really good at just from having this conversation with you? I can tell you have this really cool combination of good listening skills. You're very in tune to what's going on, but you're also assertive when it comes to the things that you're feeling or that you know about or the story that you're saying. So I think that's kind of cool because I think with people in life, whatever coach, mentor, whatever it is, someone that's a substitute or anything in life, you get a lot of one or the other. You get a lot of someone that's just like, yeah, like really great, but never pushes anyone. And then you get a lot of people that only push. And those are both issues. Yeah, you kind of have to have a combination of both. And I definitely hear it in your voice and I hear it when you talk. Yeah, because you have to kind of relate, which is what you said, right? Like build rapport and you want to, and going back to the story about the girls that do that, definitely a girl thing. And I know that because I didn't know that girls just wanted to be heard. I'm the idiot going like, well, I could solve all your problems like right now. I'm the solution guy. I'm like, well, don't go there. Like I'm like that. And like what you said, most of the time, it's like, well, I just want to be heard. And so when you were saying that story, that's what it reminded me of. I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. A girl thing. But I think it's a good thing. I don't mean that in a bad way. I think that it's important because we don't know. Will you guys tell the dudes next time? Because men, we do not know that.
Guys want to save. Their job is to take care of you, right?
It makes sense. It makes sense if you come to me with an issue that I bring a solution to the table.
I'm going to solve it for you. I'm going to help you.
Yes, but it turns out they don't want help at all. In fact, that's very insulting, guys. You need to cut that out.
No mansplaining.
Just listen and agree. You know what? I'm really bad at that with everyone, men, women, because I don't, you know what? If you're right, then I'll listen to you. But if you're like, that sounds like I'm being an asshole. If there's a moment, well, I'm trying to think of an example so I can give you one. I swear this makes sense in my head. If my friend, I'll give you a good example that's not specific. I'll keep it kind of general. If one of my best friends was dating a girl and came up to me and was telling me about her, naturally, as the friend, we have their back and we'll go like, screw her, man. And I think that's dumb. And I think guys for sure need to stop doing that. I don't know if women do it, but I think that's being a bad friend. I really do. I think unless they are bad, right? But if my friend came to me and said, dude, I was playing video games and she was mad at me and she's so needy and wants to be around me, like I wouldn't be like, screw her. I'd be like, well, like, do you hang out with her? Does she have a point? You do play a lot of video games, man. Like I would like call them out if I knew it was true, right? I would go like, hey man, to be honest, like she has a point. Like she just wants she wants to know you care. And that's her way of, I would give them real advice because I care about my friend and I want them to have a healthy relationship. I'm not going to bash his girl every time he complains because he's probably going to be with her for a long time.
Right.
I see that all the time with my friends who are like, screw her. And I'm like, dude, he's going to go home to her tonight. And you're going to be that dude that was talking crap about her. And so I don't do that to any of my friends. I encourage people to stop doing it. I don't like it. But I do understand that some people do just need to be heard. I'm just not the guy. So I'm telling everyone, if you literally just want to vent, call someone else. Don't call me because I can't help it. I'm going to be like, yeah, you're out of your goddamn mind. I don't care if it's like my own mother or like, well, not my biological mom. It could be my closest friend, it could be Laura. It doesn't matter. Like if I see something there, I'm going to say it. And that's just,
well, and that's kind of one of the things that like, cause I've had some girls talk to me before and they're like, man, he just won't like listen. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of like, it's taken me a long time, but the longer I took trying to get like a guy to just do that, it was more painful. So I found the person who could just listen, and a coach is really great for that.
Coach is perfect for that.
Because they're just going to listen. They're not going to judge. Like, you really want that safe place to say what you want to say.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't mean being judgy. There's like
well, you're right. Your advice was good.
You have to know your audience, right? If it was a stranger and someone walked in like, oh, I feel bad about myself, I wouldn't be like, because you suck. Like, I would never do that. But and I'm not that brutal with my friends either. But I'm just saying, if someone came up to me and said, like, I keep going to this grocery store and this clerk's an a-hole to me. And I told him to stop. And then I went back there and he was an a-hole to me again. And I said, I'm not coming in here anymore if you keep being an a-hole. And then so today I go and sure enough, he's an a-hole. If someone's telling me that story, I'd be like, sounds like you need to stop going to that store.
Right. You said you were not going to go back.
Yes. I would not tell them like, yeah, that guy sucked and like, screw them. Like, how dare I would be like, you need to stop going in that store because you're the one putting yourself in front of that guy. That guy's not going to change for you. You need to go to a different store. Like, would be my advice. I'm not going to pretend that you don't deserve that, which they don't. No one deserves to be talked to like that. Mm-hmm. But you are going to the store. It's very clear here what you're doing wrong. Get away from that store. That's just how I would be. I would give them that advice.
A lot of times when somebody's looking to be heard, they don't. It's like you have to, I guess, feel vulnerable and like enough or safe enough just to share. Like when you're just getting to know somebody and you're like, oh my God, this really bothered me, but I don't know them that much. And if I tell them what bothered me, are they going to judge me for the way I think?
I get what you're saying. That's for sure true, right? You can't just like, you have to build a rapport first. I think, and that's like all my years selling cars and doing the job I do now, you can't, good or bad, you can't really give someone advice if you don't have rapport. If they don't trust you, it doesn't matter. It could be the world's greatest, best kept secret that you have, and it will save their life. If they don't like you, it means nothing. They will not even remotely listen to it. And so you're absolutely right. You gotta have to make a friend and build a rapport. That way you can gently or in the correct way say something that's a little bit harsh, because some people need that. Mm-hmm. They think that their version is the right thing. And it's like, well, your version is what you're doing now, and is it working? You might want to throw in a few, like keep some of it, but yeah. But you can never tell someone that unless you build that, right? And so you're absolutely right. I think that's super important, is building that relationship and being able to say to the point where the other person knows you value them, right? You built them up, you come up with a plan, you've shown interest, you've told them how you feel about their core things, to where you can go, hey, there's this thing you do. You might want to look out for it. You remember how you mentioned every morning you wake up and you eat 3 donuts? I don't think that's the healthiest thing. You know what I mean? I know that you do that and that's your routine, but that's not going to be the best thing. So maybe let's switch it to 2 donuts and let's do 1 for lunch and 1 later. And let's start the morning off right with eating a banana or a smoothie, right? It's something. And then eventually going like, hey, do you think we can kick the later one and just have the one here? What about once a week? But you can do that once you're like kind of build a rapport there. But if it was the first day and you said that, they'd be like, this guy thinks I eat donuts all the time. And that's all I don't want to be donuts here. Now I'm not telling them about the hot chips I eat. If you enjoy puppies and you enjoy homes, there's puppies without homes. If you subscribe to this channel, that could help a puppy find a home, I bet, probably. I wouldn't risk it.